I'm Gemma from Generation Strength. I'm a strength coach, a personal trainer, and I specialise in posture. Welcome to today's 10 minutes to better posture and mobility. We're going to be focusing on the upper body and the thoracic spine. Each move is going to last 60 seconds, and I'm going to take you through a series of flows. If at any point any of the movements feel like they aggravate you, please stop and regress to a different movement. When you're holding each of the movements, try to take a deep breath in, fully breathing into the belly. This is going to help you to relax and get the most out of the stretching.
Cat and cow. Targets the traps and spine. As you round the upper back up into the air, you want to breathe out. Coming down and sinking the chest to the floor, we take a deep breath in. Out as we take the back up, and in as we come down. To initiate the movement, think about pushing the upper back up into the air from the mid-back position, and then sinking down, extending the lower back and bringing the head up slightly. We don't want to overextend the neck by looking up to the ceiling. Instead, you want to focus your eyes just up in front and slightly extend the neck. Slow and controlled through the flexion and extension. Just under 10 seconds left, so we're going to perform 2 more. Up, breathing out, coming down, and breathing in. Setting up for the second mobility exercise, side to side, targets the shoulders, chest, and bicep. Take the arms out wide in front of you with the fingertips pointing to the side. Keeping the bum in the air and bringing the ear down to the floor and stretching the side of the shoulder. As we come over to one side, we extend the arm to the side, coming towards the bent arm. You should feel this movement in the shoulder, in the pec, and in the bicep of the arm that is bent. Keep the arm and the shoulder flat on the ground. And as we turn and rotate, try to pin the ear down to the floor, if you can. Keep a slow and controlled movement as you go from arm to arm transition. We have under 10 seconds left, so keep with the slow controlled movement. Just a few more repetitions. We're going to stay in this position, but we're going to bring the head down to the floor, placing our arms in the middle part of our upper back. The Armless Prayer targets the shoulders, the traps, and the lats, the muscles down the side of the torso. Place the bum on the heels with the head in line with the torso. If this position is uncomfortable, you can place the hips up in order to get a deeper stretch in the middle back. Push the elbows down onto the floor so that you can feel the upper back engage. As you do this, push the chest down to the floor in order to get more extension in the mid-back. As we're in this position, we want to take some deep breaths in. Think about breathing 360 degrees all the way around, letting the belly fill with air and feeling it even on the back near the spine. Deep, long breaths in and deep, long breaths out. Less than 5 seconds here, taking one more deep breath in before moving on. So far our mobility movements have been very passive. The next movement, we're going to be focusing on some active stretching for the shoulder. PNF internal shoulder rotation targets the rotator cuff. Place pressure to the top of the hand, and we're going to contract for 3 seconds. Push down, 1, 2, 3. Now stretch the hand, allowing it to come closer to the floor without pushing. And we contract again, pushing the arm up and pushing against it. 1, 2, 3. Letting it naturally come down and stretching it out for another 3 seconds. Bringing the arm down as close to the floor as your range of motion allows. Pushing up against it, 1, 2, 3, relaxing and going deeper into the stretch. As you push the hand down, you want to make sure that the shoulder stays flat on the floor. This is going to make the stretch more effective. The internal rotator cuff muscles do get very tight, particularly if we spend a lot of time sitting, so the stretch is very effective at helping to stretch out those tight muscles. Going to perform the same thing on the other side, so setting up, placing the arm and the elbow at 90 degrees with the hand as close to the ground as your start position will allow. Pushing against the hand, 1, 2, 3, and letting it naturally drop down to the floor, holding here. Pushing up, 1, 2, 3, and allowing it to come back down, and stretching and holding this position. So we're going to go through those stretching and contracting, relaxing phase. This is known as PNF stretching, and I found it quite effective at helping to stretch out the shoulder muscles. So I highly recommend incorporating more PNF stretching into your routine, particularly with this and also with the hamstring and the quadriceps as well, since these areas tend to get very tight. Now we're moving on to the next mobility movement, coming and sitting up on the bum with the hands behind and the fingers out to the side. The reverse table targets the glutes, the arms and the rear shoulders. Holding the top of the bridge position with the glutes nice and tight and the body in a straight line. Coming down after a few seconds and pushing up, driving up through the heels and pushing the hands into the floor. Want the hips to reach full hip extension in the top, meaning we want to have a straight line where the hip bone is. Keeping the ribs down so that we're not overarching the lower back. And pulling the shoulder blades back and together to help open up the chest and stretching the back of the shoulders. Where you put your head is going to depend on what feels more comfortable to you. You might want to look straight up to the ceiling, or alternatively, you might want to let the head hang down. Whatever feels better for you. As we come up, we take those shoulders from an inward position and rotate them behind, squeezing our shoulder blades together. This is the last hold we'll do of the reverse table. Coming into the next move, thread the needle with rotation, targets the thoracic spine and the shoulders, and allows us to open up our chest. So notice that the back isn't going into flexion and extension. We're keeping the spine neutral as we reach the arm down and through, and then coming up and rotating round. So as the arm goes through, the fixed arm on the floor slightly bends in order to allow us to get deeper into that stretch as we come across, to really stretch the back of the shoulders. Taking the arm through, rotating down as far as we can, trying to bring that shoulder down to the floor. And then bringing the arm all the way up and rotating. Trying to keep the rotation targeting the mid-back, the thoracic spine. So I shouldn't really be feeling it in the lower back. And we're limiting any twisting that's happening from the hips or from the lower back. And we're just focusing on trying to bring more rotation to the mid-back. I'm going to switch sides, so bringing the other arm down and taking it up. Nice and slow movements. Remember to breathe. Coming down and inhaling, and coming up and exhaling. Want to focus on the exhale as we expand the movement. So breathing out and coming up. Just 1 or 2 more here, and then we're going to move on to the final stretch. The last mobility exercise we have is the 3-way child pose, which targets the lower back and the lats. Sitting down onto the bum, so the bum is touching the heels, and outstretching the arms in front, and relaxing that lower back in a nice flex position. Taking deep breaths in and out in this position. And for the final 40 seconds, we're going to switch between moving the arms all the way over to the left or to the right side and getting a nice stretch down the side of the torso on the lat muscle. So you should feel this on the lat of the opposite side that you're stretching towards. So if you're stretching towards your right, you should feel it on your left lat. And now for the last 20 seconds, you want to walk the hands over to the opposite side and stretching out the other lat. Or if you prefer to, you can just be in the centre for the child pose and focus on your breathing, taking deep breaths in and then exhaling out.
Well, that's it, guys. I hope that you're feeling as supple as a leopard after that. Don't worry if you don't quite get that reference. It's related to the book by Dr. Kelly Starlett by the same title, and it's really a good book for overall pain management and getting more mobility in the body, so I highly recommend it. And if you found value in the video and you want more content like this, then please hit subscribe and leave me any comments below if you liked the drills.